Hello everyone, so welcome to my third vlog so far. So for the vlog today, I'm going to talk about yoga, just like running, like I talked about in my last vlog. Yoga is also something that I did a few years ago, and then I had some near traumatic experiences with it, so I stopped. And I thought I would never get back to it again. But lately, starting about like less than a month ago, I also just tried yoga again for the first time in years. And oh my god, like what a great experience it was. And so today I wanna talk a little more about this story. Typically for the videos in this channel, I wanted to be doing something that scares me for the first time while filming the video. But since I already started yoga a little while ago, so yoga isn't essentially the first time, or the thing I will be doing for the first time, but instead that thing will actually be doing yoga, listening to the instructions while filming the video together. So that scares me. Because I have ADHD, I know that I have trouble paying attention to many different things at once, unless I'm trying to not pay attention to the other things. So I think it will be quite a challenge for me to talk while listening to the YouTube video with the guided yoga practice. But, well, what's the spirit of this channel? To do things that we think are not possible or we cannot do well in. Like, I've been a perfectionist growing up. So this will be the time for me to start resisting against that tendency in my head to want to do everything perfect, and also to shy away from things that I feel is just a little dubious or trigger my fears. So here we go. Let's get started. Just for context, the yoga video I'm using is from Yoga with Kassandra. And this video in particular is the practice that I did when I got back to yoga for the first time. So I'm very excited. Props to Kassandra. Great work. So without further ado, let's get started. So now I'm just going to turn on the yoga. Okay. Let's just take a few deep breaths together. Oh, this is kind of hard. But I can kind of see the video over there in the desk. Okay, let's begin with the story. So, around 2020, during the pandemic, I was doing yoga. And I was in Shavasana, which is just laying flat on the yoga mat. And I got up a little too fast, and then the whole room just suddenly started spinning. And I just felt dizzy and lightheaded, and I wanted to vomit. So I was like, oh, what's going on? Am I dying or anything? And it turned out that I got benign positional vertigo. So I don't think it's worth going into detail, but something to notice is that this vertigo has a simple cure, which is just doing a couple poses in the bed, and it will like readjust the little stones in your ear. Whew. Wow, that's a little hard. And then the vertigo will go away. But unfortunately, it's kind of harder to get healthcare during the pandemic, and no doctor ever treated this silly vertigo. So I had to carry it for like at least 6 months. Like I carried it like into my fall semester, and it felt like shit because every day I'm dizzy and drowsy. I couldn't focus, and that's on top of my undiagnosed ADHD. I'm in tree pose, by the way. Ooh, it's fun to be present for many things at the same time. So yeah, and not to mention that the period when I got vertigo coincided or overlapped with the period of injuring my knees. So I couldn't exercise at all, like I couldn't walk, but then I also couldn't do workouts on the yoga mat or anything because with the vertigo, even doing exercises would make me dizzy. So I had to stop. And for me, movement is like a way of life. So I just felt like, I said it was near traumatic because like I think I learned from some like psychology or philosophy terms or Greek roots that trauma has to do with the whole being broken, and I felt like I was broken during that time. Okay, so while having the vertigo, I did try a couple yoga poses while having my head straight up, but then even just any simple stretches would make me dizzy. Ooh. I was in the wrong yoga pose. So yeah, I barely couldn't do anything. So yeah, that was that. So my vertigo was eventually treated not by a doctor, but actually by a physical therapist, which I think is just silly, but I'm grateful for that. And over time, my knees started slowly healing too. Like I started getting back to normal activities, but not yoga. I just like feared the sensations of like almost dying, like feeling like extremely dizzy to the point of like not being able to fall asleep, like so bad. I fear that so much. I don't want that to happen ever again. I feel like it ruined my life. I don't want it to stop me from enjoying my life and having the time and energy to hang out with friends again. So yeah, no more yoga. Let's take a pause here. So for a while, I thought that's the end of the story. Just be careful when you do yoga, or better not do it. Ooh. But as you can see, I'm doing yoga again. So what happened? Oh. The weird thing is, when I was running or when I was doing yoga, like with the hard balancing poses and doing vlogging at the same time, the exercise actually got easier. Huh, interesting. So I think how I started yoga wasn't the most important thing. I started simply because I watched a video on energy management by Dr. K. He makes really great videos, science-based videos on mental health that also blends in like Hindu traditions, which I think is like fascinating to integrate the different kinds of knowledge. So he recommended yoga for days when we're feeling just like hyperactive or like all over the place. And I struggle with that a lot, obviously, especially with my ADHD. So I thought, well, I already don't have my vertigo. How about I do yoga that involves only balancing poses, most of which require standing up? I think that would be less risky. I mean, yeah, the idea looks practical, right? Like realistic. But I still had not gotten over the fear. My mind just couldn't help but keep replaying that like traumatic day where after getting up from the yoga mat, just the whole world started turning, and I was like so helpless. But, well, that was a month ago, which was 9 months after I quit my job. That I thought was the thing that I would have feared the most, like my biggest failure. It hurt for a long time, but now looking back, I felt like being fired from my job was one of the luckiest experiences I've had, because I got to travel and also just spend time with family and understand them more and understand myself more. So I was able to do something like so scary associated with it, which was, like putting an end to my American dream for a while and having to figure things out again. So I thought, yoga is much easier than that. And realistically, the risk is very low. Don't get me wrong. There's no, I don't believe in toxic positivity. Just get strong. Don't be so weak. You can do this. But instead, I really acknowledge my fear. That's something that was also just a thing in the recent few months when I finally learned to accept and just gaze or observe all kinds of crazy emotions with a loving mom. This is a hard pose. I'm surprised that it's actually easier for me to do while I'm filming vlogs. I would have expected me to just wobble like crazy ocean waves of the Maldives, the kind of waves that would kill surfers. But here we go. So yeah, I did that yoga and it was just so amazing. And then I just started doing yoga every day. So I think she's getting into laying down poses, so I'm trying to see if I can align my camera with that as well. Actually, yeah, let's do here so you can at least roughly see me. Actually, better to see my face. So, I think now that this practice is drawing to a close, I want to just share one more thing about what wonders getting back to yoga brought me. When I do yoga, I feel so good in my body. I used to have a body dysmorphia in high school, and it also lasted for a few years in college. And I also spent like 3 years practicing Tai Chi, which is a mindfulness, like a Chinese martial art that does have similarities to yoga. So I did improve my balance, and now doing yoga just enables me to put it all together. Like even though I will wobble a lot, like I was just amazed to see like how well balanced I was overall, which is not that important, honestly. Like even if I don't balance well, it's okay. Like it's a process of growth. But if you remember, like I was also doing dancer's pose. I thought that just was a beautiful pose, and I felt very beautiful, which is a completely new feeling, to be honest. I've always grown up feeling ugly. I like hating myself, feeling ashamed of myself, of the way I look, the way I talk, the way I do things, the way I show my emotions, etc. But yoga gave me a new way to look at myself with appreciation. And that just means a lot. Ooh, Shavasana. I think we finished Shavasana. Wow, we did it. So now I think it's just the last pose of bowing. So I'm just gonna do this. So let's go back to the beginning. Whoa, that felt great. Filming while doing yoga. And that means we're also reaching the end of this video. And something, I guess, a little bit unconventional that I want to leave for y'all is, for me, doing yoga, overcoming my fear to do yoga that I thought was impossible, also preceded or was followed by me eventually running again, also for the first time in years, after believing so hard that it's impossible. I would say that I could also have still chosen to not run or not do other like things that took a lot of courage. But every little victory like this, like for example, this yoga thing, it did plant the seed. Maybe after we've done something courageous that made us feel proud, and then next time we still just like escape into our caves over fear. There's no need to be ashamed of that. I've been there, and it's a very long and non-linear journey. And what we need to do is to not take what we see as failures, which I mean, not to take stepping back and not moving forward out of fear as a failure. I think as long as we just try to cultivate a sense of awareness about like what's going on in our mind, like the kind of emotions that go along with our decisions, we will get there. Yeah, we'll get there little steps at the time before we even know it. So thank you so much for watching this video with me. And I hope it resonates with you in many ways, and today you get to do something you fear, like even any small thing, like maybe talking to someone that you are too anxious to talk to, for example, unless that person is toxic. And I hope you have a great day. If you want to keep learning and challenging and growing with me, please subscribe my channel. I'm trying to put out videos every few days, if not every day, but it's more like a way of being than a way of like producing something for me. And I'm really excited for you to join this journey with me. So, peace.